Now we're going to talk about the tools that made the change permanent. There's a moment in every transformation where excitement fades, when the spark that got you started begins to flicker, where the rituals you built feel a little heavier, a little slower, a little harder to maintain. And that's the moment most people fall back, not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, but because real momentum, is fragile. It needs protection, it needs structure, it needs tools. And in my journey, there were a few tools that didn't just help me move forward, they kept me from sliding backward. These tools didn't make me superhuman, they made me consistent, and consistency is what changes your life. So today, I want to share the tools that made my transformation permanent, the tools that kept me grounded when my mind wanted to drift, the tools that kept me moving when my body wanted to stop, the tools that kept me honest when my habits wanted to lie. And I wanted to start with the simplest one of all, the 5 minutes rule. There were days when I didn't want to do anything, days when the smallest task felt like climbing a mountain, days when my brain would whisper, not today, you're tired, you're stressed, you'll do it tomorrow. On those days, I used to believe that voice until I learned something that changed everything. The brain doesn't resist doing. The brain resists starting. Starting is the real battle. Starting is the real friction. Starting is the moment where your mind tries to negotiate, bargain, delay, escape. So I made a deal with myself, a deal so small my brain couldn't reject it. Just 5 minutes. Then you can stop. 5 minutes of writing, 5 minutes of cleaning, 5 minutes of moving, 5 minutes of anything at almost every time. 5 minutes turned into more. Not because I forced it, but because once you start, inertia takes over. It's easier to continue than to quit. On the rare days that I did stop after 5 minutes, I didn't matter because I had done the hardest part. I had shown up. I had kept my promise. That's what builds self-trust, not perfection, not intensity, not dramatic effort, not consistency. Consistency is the most important thing here. And I made bad habits hard. Showing up just wasn't enough. So I had to deal with the distraction, the temptations, the little traps that stole my focus one notification at a time. So I stopped trying to be stronger. I stopped trying to resist. I stopped trying to fight the urge. Instead, I made the huge inconvenient. I put my phone in another room. I turned off notifications. I created distance instead of relying on disciplines. Because here's the truth. You don't beat the algorithm with willpower. You beat it with distance. And when I created that distance, my mind got quieter. My rituals got easier. My focus got sharper. My energy returned, not because I became stronger, but because I stopped giving my weaknesses easy access. But there was still one more enemy I had to face, one more habit that I was quietly destroying my ability to think, to create, to feel. I had forgotten how to be bored. Every empty moment I felt, every pause I escaped, every silence I drowned with noise. So, how much that was costing me? So I did something uncomfortable. I let myself to be bored 10 minutes a day. No phone, no music, no distractions, just me. At first, it felt unbearable. My mind reacted, my body twitched, my thoughts scattered. But then something shifted. The noise faded. The restlessness softened. The thoughts slowed down. In that space, the quiet, uncomfortable space, I found clarity. I found ideas. I found myself because boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the doorway back to your mind. It's where creativity lives, where intuition lives, where truth lives. And once I learned that, I'd sit with myself without running, without escaping. I realized something. I had been avoiding my own thoughts for years, not because they were scary, but because they were honest. And honesty is uncomfortable, but it's also liberating. So the next tool is the 3 minutes review. Okay? When you rewire your brain, your progress is something simple. It almost felt unnecessary. But at night, every night before you go to bed, you can write down things you did right. So that's what I did. Just things I did right. And slowly, something inside me shifted. My brain stopped looking for failure, stopped replaying mistakes. It stopped obsessing over what I didn't do. Instead, I started noticing progress. I started noticing effort. I started noticing growth. And that's when I understood something powerful. Progress creates dopamine. Dopamine creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. And that's how the cycle breaks. Not with intensity, not with perfection, not with dramatic effort, with the small wins, tiny wins, daily wins, 3 minutes at a time. These tools just help me change. They help me stay changed. They protect my momentum. They protected my focus. They protected my identity. But here's the truth. Tools alone don't transform you. Habits alone don't transform you. Rituals alone don't transform you. Identity transforms you. Because sooner or later, you must stop asking, what do I need to do? And start asking who I am becoming. That's where the real shift happens, not in your action, but in your identity. In episode 4, I'm going to show you the missing piece of motivation, the piece that makes consistency effortless, the piece that makes habits automatic, the piece that makes change permanent. When you're ready, meet me in the next chapter, right here.